I cannot with that new journal. I just love it. Anyways, today we're going to talk about how I know you're autistic because I can spot it. And growing up, I honestly thought everybody could spot it. But it turns out other people don't realize we're autistic. They just think we're rude, rigid, weird, whatever term they might put to it. So you face some judgments already. You've been misunderstood and you've had to adapt and mask, and that's kind of been a move for your own safety. But we're going to talk about how I know that you're autistic, because I'm autistic and I have ADHD and I spot them. I also, personally, I surround myself with autistic people. I do feel better around more neurodivergent people in general, but it also just helps me give myself a little bit more grace seeing other people, make similar mistakes or have similar difficulties, whatever it might be. It just helps me feel seen to be around people like me, because for most of my life, I never saw so many autistic people consistently. It was like rare and really exciting when I ran into an autistic person, because it was, growing up, life was different undiagnosed. Anyways, I know you're autistic when you have incredible skills or expertise and you don't claim it. Like, you're so humble about it, or you might even have a pretty deep imposter syndrome. Like, you really don't think you're that good at it, or you don't deserve it, or you're excelling in your field, or maybe academically gifted. You're really good at what you do. And you still just somehow have this casual nature about talking about it. You really don't boast yourself. So that's one way that I might look at it. Another thing that I might look for is you say what everybody is thinking. You are so straight and direct, and your email language might even be called out, or you might have a sit-down meeting like I have, that somebody is telling you they were just shocked, like jaw dropped because of your tone, and you had no idea that your honesty was also going to be received however that person is feeling too. So you're really honest. You say it straight. And sometimes that also comes across as critical nitpicking, or like correcting words. There's a lot of different ways that this can show up. But it's with a good heart, and people can misunderstand it. The next one, I think we're on 3. Your circle is small. You noticeably or admittedly have some social difficulties. I myself honestly thought I was doing okay, but then I was getting screened for anxiety and depression first, and all of my social stuff was like incredibly low. And my doctor referred me for ADHD and autism assessments, but I was like, I thought I'm fine socially. Like, I don't really want to do a lot. I don't really want a lot of friends. I don't really want to hang out all the time. I literally can't talk to people that much. I don't have the energy, the spoons, the stamina, whatever. I show up in my life. I work really hard. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. It takes a lot out of me. So your circle is small too. And my circle is small. So that's like, I see it in you, because I'm right there. Like, we want to be friends. And maybe we are on a virtual level, but it's really hard for us to actually get out there and see each other consistently. So beyond a small circle, moving on to number 4, sensory issues, right? So whether that be vision, sensitivity to light, sensitivity to noise, sensitivity to like group scenarios or auditory processing differences, sensitivity to touch, like if somebody comes up to you and touches you, or just maybe even avoiding things like massage, pedicure services that some people might say, oh, that's so nice. You might feel like ick about it. You're not a touchy kind of person. Everybody's sensory profile is different. So there's also the sensory seeking. I have a lot of icks or sensory issues around food, but I also seek sensory input. Like, I do enjoy swimming and getting tattoos and deep pressure massage, and I've done acupuncture and just sensory seeking activities. But it can be kind of a mix for anybody. Number 5, you have or face other chronic health issues or chronic pain. I myself have had chronic pain like all of adulthood. As soon as I was hitting college, I was trying to figure out, do I go to the chiropractor, the spine specialist? Who else can scan me, test me? What do I try? What do I do? My pain is better managed now. A large part of that is managing stress, managing my obligations, my environment, my sensory load, all of those things. But I also want to shout out to people who are just fellow spoonies, who are young people going to doctors saying, I know I look fine, but I really, really hurt right now, or I'm really struggling, or I'm facing some severe ongoing stuff. Like, yes, my pain is at a level 10. No, I didn't go to the ER. I can't afford to continue going to the ER, and they don't offer me a long-term solution. I'm trying to understand. And in the US, some doctors are just trying to, give you a pain medication or a quick solution or something, but then it's like, okay, so I have this issue and it's still not going away. Can I stay on that forever? And I feel like education is super limited. So ask all the questions you have at the doctor. Take all the time you need. And honestly, switch doctors if you don't feel like you're being heard. Try to search and explore, and don't feel bad about not calling back or showing up on a follow-up if you don't feel good about your provider, because I've had some people run me through tests and tests and tests and tests, and I'm getting charged so much, and they didn't actually have the answers for me. It was a different person who was able to help me in much quicker. So everybody says they can help, but be cautious because it can cost you. Anyways, moving on. That's just a hidden one in there, is like excessive spending or difficulty with budgeting, or the other excess of like super well managed financially, really tight on the budget, really into making sure that you are covered. It can kind of come in either of like blind spot or I can't let this go. I unfortunately fell into the spot of it became a blind spot. I started struggling and I could not mentally keep track of finances, and I didn't spend the way that I should. I made a lot of mistakes, and then I found out I was autistic and in burnout and just struggling in so many more ways. So that's a hidden one. Anyways, moving on to number 6. You are doing the most. Like, you do things 1000%. When you're into something, you are into it. You love it. You can talk about it all the time. It's called monotropism also. But it's kind of like you don't feel it at all, or you're absolutely sold. And motivation can be challenging for this reason. 7, we're moving right along. You might show up very differently depending on where you're at and who you're with. I myself grew up in a religious setting, and so yes, I masked in part because I was around people who were more conservative, but then I really switched and morphed and was really more of a social chameleon, and a lot of other people are too. And some people call that out and think like, you're really fake. What are you doing? Who are you? And it's not a fakeness. It's a survival mechanism. It's masking again. But that social chameleon is something also girls are even more exceptionally skilled at for some reason. And it's why we're even harder to diagnose. A lot of women are turning 18 before they're getting a diagnosis of autism or ADHD. Male counterparts learning as children more often. They say it's more observable, but I think that's the whole issue, is that autism and ADHD in the medical system, the DSM, have all been defined as what's observed and less of the lived experience and internal experience of these things, when it is so much more than you can see. 8, and this is maybe speaking to this video because it's 8 minutes and we're moving right along with 8 things. You get right to the point. No BS. You're not, what's the word for it? You're not into the small talk. You don't need the extra fluff. Same as the email issue I mentioned earlier. Like, you are good just communicating whatever you're trying to communicate, because that is hard enough. Like, you don't need extra struggle or extra stuff to add in just to appease people. And that's another part of not internalizing social hierarchy. Another thing I might notice is that you're extremely self-critical. You are creating expectations for yourself that are astronomical. And you honestly keep just raising the bar. You achieve something and you're already looking to the next thing. You're not even taking credit of, wow, I actually did something really awesome there. It's like, well, did I do good enough? I don't know. I should keep trying. I should do more. There's like this do more aspect sometimes as well. And then lastly, I noticed you stimming, I met another adult recently who's a nose tapper, and they just, as they sit on the computer or do different things, they tap their nose. I've done this since I was a teenager. And I don't know, it's one of those subtle repetitive body movements that does feel good. But if you tap your fingers, your face, honestly, for me, that is such a relaxing and calming way that I can also make transitions. Like if I show up somewhere and I'm really anxious, like going in a new place or the doctor's. But there's other things, you might have fidgets or small things that you enjoy messing with. You might be a nail picker, which is something I struggle with, but I'm doing pretty good. You might twirl your hair a lot. You might hold your hands in a certain kind of way. I've mentioned the fists, but like the claw kind of hands too. Like we just sometimes don't even notice how we do that. And we do that in sleep too a lot of times, like curl up in such a way. It's another reason you might have pain for other reasons if you're just putting your body in contorted ways, and that comes to other issues like hypermobility. But we're going to end it here. Whenever I see things that I relate to, but I've also seen huge patterns of other autistic people experience these things across their lifespan. Like it's not just a moment in time. These issues, there's lots of them happening, and across environments throughout their lifetime. They don't just go away. That's how I know you're autistic. But let me know what I'm missing down below. Thanks.